tape right now because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
Okay, so hang on to your woohoo hat, because do you remember this guy? So this guy's the FBI guy who said we're going to stop Trump. He got his text messages got revealed. We're going to stop Trump. And then they lied to the FISA court 17 times so they could tap Trump's phone. Not only his phone, but everybody in his campaign's phone. Remember, it was him and Lisa Page, a former lawyer for the Bureau. They accused the Trump administration of violating their privacy after it provided explosive text to the news media. So this is real. So the Biden administration just okayed a payment of $1.2 million. So $1 million to that guy. And likely a similar payment to Lisa Page through a settlement of a likely. So the lawsuit, so they bring a lawsuit. The Justice Department settles lawsuit with former FBI officials targeted by Trump. No, Trump was targeted by them. And they got exposed because their text messages got exposed, showing that they were conspiring together to try to stop Donald Trump from becoming president. And now this guy sues the Justice Department, and in a case that he's going to lose. And so what does Joe Biden's Justice Department do? They settle and give him $1.2 million. Because they knew he was going to lose the case, but they wanted to take care of him. This is corruption. This is corruption. The Justice Department settled a lawsuit on Friday with two former FBI officials who had accused the Trump administration of violating their privacy by sharing their texts disparaging former President Donald J. Trump with the news media, according to court documents. As a part of the settlement, the government agreed to pay the former officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, concluding at least some of the litigation. The FBI accusing Donald Trump of violating the FBI agent's privacy is like Harvey Weinstein accusing you of sexual harassment. The amount was not disclosed in court filings, but Mr. Strzok's law firm said he got $1.2 million. Their text incited a political firestorm after the Justice Department in 2017 invited reporters to review them at night before handing them over to Congress. Then a senior FBI counterintelligence agent who helped oversee the Bureau's investigation into the Trump campaign's possible ties to Russia in 2016, Mr. Strzok exchanged inflammatory messages with Ms. Page, a Bureau lawyer involved in the Republicans seized on the text to try to discredit the investigation. The agreement is likely to anger Mr. Trump, who has railed against this pair for years and leveled baseless accusations that the investigation was a witch hunt. Well, we all know it was a witch hunt. The Russia collusion was a conspiracy theory concocted by the FBI, the CIA, and the Hillary Clinton campaign. Mr. Strzok drafted the memo opening the investigation, which was approved by his superiors. In 2019, Mr. Strzok and Mr. Page filed separate lawsuits. Mr. Strzok was suing the Justice Department that it violated his. Mr. Strzok is seeking to be reinstated for his job so he can retire with full benefits. The agreement was second time the Justice Department has reached settlement with the former Bureau officials. The 2018, the department fired Andrew McCabe as FBI director because he lied just hours before he was scheduled to retire. Under the settlement, McCabe was able to officially retire, receive his pension and other benefits, and collect about $200,000 in missed pension payments. In May, the Justice Department disclosed that it had reached a tentative settlement. So they're just giving out money, your money, to these criminals. Republicans dismay. At the congressional hearing the next month, Representative Jim Jordan asked Attorney General Merrick Garland about the proposed settlement. So you go after the president and you get rewarded for doing so, according to the Justice Department, Mr. Jordan said. Mr. Garland responded, it's not a question of reward, it's a question of the government paying for violating the law. Can you look up what the text said? That guy's texts.
Peter Strzok.
Isn't it amazing that they don't include it in this article? This is the corrupt New York Times, who gave themselves awards. They got Pulitzer Prizes for reporting on Russiagate, a made-up fake conspiracy theory that they pushed. They got Pulitzer Prizes for reporting garbage. That's your New York Times. If I did that, just like Joe Rogan said about COVID, imagine if it was comedians and podcasters saying what CNN was saying, calling Pulitzer Prize winning medicine horse dewormer and saying it's poison, and saying that you should take an experimental medical treatment, and then people have all these adverse events. Imagine if it was podcasters doing that, but it wasn't. It was the corporate news saying that. Now, no price to pay. Did you find out what the...
We're looking. There's a lot of articles that are just talking about this case right now.
Well,
but they're not.
What was the quote? Say, we were going to stop him.
Okay.
Peter Strzok, we are going to stop him, text. I know he's not in my contacts, Surrey.
We'll stop. Let's see what I got. One thing. Let's see.
It would be real helpful if we had those.
No, he won't. We'll stop it, Strzok texted back. Trump is never going to become president, right? Right. Page, who also worked on Mueller's step, responded. As Strzok responds, no, he won't. We'll stop it, Strzok texted back.
Isn't it amazing that they don't have that
turn
in that article? Malcolm, was those texts were not in that article for the New York Times, right?
Sun. What is that? And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool.
So can you read those texts? Can you read that again?
So
what did the text say?
So what I have...
His name is Strzok.
What? Strzok. Okay, so Strzok... So this is the paragraph before. Strzok, who worked as a senior role on the Clinton email investigation before joining the staff on the special counsel, reportedly wrote to Page, an attorney, that the two would stop the president from being elected. They have Trump is not ever going to become president, right? Right. Page, who also worked on Mueller's staff, responded, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Strzok.
So that's a guy, an FBI guy, top FBI guy in charge of investigating the president, saying we're going to stop him from becoming president. That he just got paid $1.2 million because those texts got exposed. A guy who was leading the investigation into Donald Trump, a bullshit charge of him colluding with Russia. Joe Biden's Justice Department just settled because the guy was going to lose that case if it went to court. So they're taking care of the people who lied for the establishment. That's what they're doing. People who are doing the dirty work for the establishment of undermining Donald Trump's presidency and pushing a conspiracy theory to discredit Donald Trump, they're now being paid off for doing that work. That's the government paying them off. That's the establishment.
This article goes on and says, because of his texts, messages, we did not have confidence that Strzok's decision to prioritize the Russia investigation was free from bias, the report said.
That's right. And he now gets $1.2 million for being corrupt. And they say Donald Trump is corrupt. This is amazing. Katie Pavlich says Strzok was going to lose this lawsuit because, like a dum-dum, he sent the insurance policy text messages on a government device where he knew he had no privacy rights. Biden's Department of Justice issues this settlement just in case Trump were to win in November. He was not going to win this case. He said those things on government devices. Biden administration launders $1.2 million payment to Peter Strzok and likely a similar payment to Lisa Page through a settlement of a likely doomed lawsuit. And of course, there will be no outrage in the country over this because the media says it's not outrageous. They say that Trump was attacking that guy. That's how my old roommate's going to see it. He's going to read it in the New York Times. He's going to hear it on MSNBC. Oh, good, they took care of that guy that Trump was attacking. No, that guy's a criminal. And he was going to lose that lawsuit. And Joe Biden's Justice Department just gave that guy a $1.2 million payoff for doing their dirty work. Wow. What? So Lisa Page says to Strzok, Trump's never going to become president, right? Right? Strzok says, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Meaning the FBI. He also texted on August 26, 2016, I just went to a Southern Virginia Walmart. I could smell the Trump support. Lisa Page says back, yep, out to lunch. We both hate everyone and everything. He then says, I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take their risk. It's likely an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. I don't understand that one, exactly what that means. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office. So she said there's no way that he's going to get elected. He says, I want to believe that, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. So we need an insurance policy. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. So it's this. So this, what they're doing, this Russiagate, it's like an insurance policy. That's what he's saying.
How is this not treasonous?
And Joe Biden just gave that guy $1.2 million because those texts showing him being a corrupt criminal, trying to undermine democracy, got exposed. The whole goddamn thing is corrupt. Your media is corrupt. Your government is corrupt. Your Justice Department is corrupt. And pretending, and that's why they have to pretend that Trump invented lying in Washington, D.C., and Trump invented corruption in Washington, D.C. The whole thing is corrupt. These people who claim that they're putting democracy on the ballot are the people who are undermining democracy at every turn. It's a comedy now. Now you don't even get to vote for the person who's the nominee. It was all set up. Holy shit. Is it not outrage you? Are you outraged?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you believe this? I mean, this is... And
so he
every
was a good
fucking
boy.
moron I know in Hollywood is going to think that this was a good thing they gave this guy $1.2 million because he was being attacked by Trump. What about your friends, Misha? Are they're going to believe this, right? Okay, over to Steph.
Well, it's constantly disturbing that, look, if Trump is such a bad guy, they haven't been able to make the case that's convincing, but they have to lie about all this stuff. And it's like one coup d'etat after another. And that Peter is Strzok is not treasonous. How is that not treasonous, what he's done?
How is that not treasonous?
And her. So evidently the deep state is alive and well, and they can decide what political president that you're going to vote for. It's depressing, and it does seem like a third world country. Did you ever cover the story of FBI counter intel chief Charles McConnell going to prison in February for colluding with Russians? Drunken scoundrel. I don't think we got to that one. Jimmy, watch Trey Gowdy question Strzok. It's epic. Look it up on YouTube. I definitely will. Nothing to share here. Thank you so much for that. All right. I don't need that article anymore. Please read Seymour Hersh's article on Obama working behind the scenes on getting
our next
Biden
story.
Out. Everything I guess.
It's our
Lorene,
next story.
Chris. Thank you, Lorene. It's our next story.
It's our next story.
Kamala Harris' latest polls are likely pre-convention bump with some enthusiasm post-Biden dropout. Also, Gallup, as of 7/24, has Biden job approval 36%. This means D's will likely lose in November. Cool blue. Mitty Park, thank you, Mitty Park. Hey, remember Putin was on the fence about invading Ukraine until he heard Kamala's speech at the Munich Security Conference? Sparky, thank you, Sparky. Danny, the Sackler cartel is the most powerful cartel. Falco, don't mention the banks you don't launder drug money at taco stands. Basil. By the way, YouTube would not use the term mentally deficient in my super chat, LOL, regarding Kamala. Mitty. Convenient that the cartel gets Epstein right when criticizing Kamala. The borders are. Nuran. Thank you, Nuran. And the only way to improve the prison system is to pay the PIC more money to free people than to jail them. Yes, that's extortion, but only the solution I see. Jim McGuire. We had a blast at the show in Las Vegas last night. Thanks for going hard to entertain us, Jimmy and Steph. Amberger87. Thank you, Amberger87. Kamala's latest polls are likely... Oh, I read that one. Convention bump. Hey, Mitty Park. Thank you, Mitty Park. And remember, Putin was on the fence, right? Sparky. Basil. Alec also caused billions of dollars profit to banks. Basil. John, the Sackler family, the most important cartel, has close family connections to Joshua Lederberg, world-renowned molecular biologist and genetic engineer whose life work led to mRNA jabs, FYI. Thank you, John. Tarek, wonder what Ismail's nickname was. Steph, Amberger87. Thank you, Amberger87. Kamala's latest polls are likely... Oh, I read that one. Convention bump. Hey, Mitty Park. Thank you, Mitty Park. And remember, Putin was on the fence, right? Sparky. Basil. Alec also caused billions of dollars profit to banks. Basil. John, the Sackler family, the most important cartel, has close family connections to Joshua Lederberg, world-renowned molecular biologist and genetic engineer whose life work led to mRNA jabs, FYI. Thank you, John. Tarek, wonder what Ismail's nickname was. La Sombra? Sexy. Tarek. Cornpop, the bad dude, get the man his fucking ticket link, boss. You're right, Cornpop. Where's that ticket link? GDNPP, the drug war turned 53-year-old. It was declared by Nixon in June 1971. Fret Pound, you need to get Chris Martenson from Peak Prosperity, friend of Brett Weinstein, on. He's leading the investigation into who really tried to shoot Trump. Well, thank you for that recommendation, Fret Pound. Basil, Alec also caused billions of dollars profits to prisons. Okay, hold on. Sparky, if elected, should Trump bring former U.S. Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney back from exile and put her in his administration? Cynthia McKinney back from her exile. Sparky 63, nice observation there. All right, let's see this one. The same thing, corrupt settlements, happened with Labor Party. They made settlements with fake whistleblowers who invented anti-Semitism and exaggerated cases when Corbyn was leader. Salmon, thank you, Salmon. And oh boy, can Kamala grill, but something tells me she does sucking a lot better. Whoa, Corn Pop. Jimmy, watch the Trey Gaddy interview. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think, Jimmy, how do you feel about rolling over to Rumble at this time? Are you feeling it, or do you want to do one more story?
We'll do the Go ahead.
We're gonna
they almost
let's go to Jimmy.
Just to let you know, they almost 25th Amendmented Joe Biden. Apparently, And that's according to Cy Hirsch, and meaning that he had a major medical event when he was in Las Vegas. Guess who reported that first? Alex Jones. And now Seymour Hirsch is validating it. So that's the next story we're doing. And that they then forced him out. And that's why he resigned from the campaign. Okay, now let's go to Rumble, I guess.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we can switch on over to Rumble. Let me copy the link and put it in there for you. But it's just as easy as YouTube. You just type in Jimmy Dore, folks. It's really that easy. So hold on. Let me grab the link and copy it in. Copy. And then let's see what kind of shenanigans YouTube will start doing when that link is copied. And then I pin it. I'm pinning the link. So it's pinned on top, girls. Pin message. Pinned. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling really good about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you over at Rumble.
Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he made. I saw it, and I was shocked. He's in his 80s, and he's still kicking butt and working out and staying active. He actually is. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. It actually inspired me to stay in shape. Honest. Because, you know what? I want to be in my 80s. I want to be able to still enjoy it, right? I want to be able to enjoy it. Why not? He did this by just making one change. Who did that? Chuck Norris. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing, too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video, which I watched, that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Jimmy or by clicking in the link below this video. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Jimmy. And click on the link in the description below and watch the video. You won't believe how simple it is. Just a reminder that the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old and has more energy than me, okay? He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage your body as we age. Watch this method and his method by clicking on the link in the description box below. That's chuckdefense.com/Jimmy.
No more! I yield! I yield! Oh! Ah!
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit
Isn't it swell? The memes make themselves. They found a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical grace soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you. If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
At this time, more than any other time, you know, revolution is necessary. It is necessary. Not only based on what has happened with the MOVE organization, you know, the babies that have been murdered, you know, MOVE adults that have been murdered, bombs being dropped on us, but past that to what is happening with all black people, so-called minority people, you know, money poor people. You know, this government, as has been said earlier, has waged war on us. But you know, something about us, particularly here in America, we don't really understand that. You know, we don't really know what war is. You know, for black people, for poor people, that people see as good, that they wasn't forced to do, that they didn't do to try to keep black people appeased, you know, and calm down so that black people wouldn't riot. A prison situation is a crystallized example of that. You can make phone calls in prison. They have movies in prison, but they don't have those things because they just want to be nice to prisoners. They have those things because they know damn well if they don't have, you know, people being able to contact their family, if they don't have, you know, facilities for people to sit there and watch movies, people are going to be frustrated, upset, and they're going to direct that frustration at them prison administrators, and they're going to have riots on their hands. You know, they're going to have people in them prisons turning them prisons out. That's why they have movies. That's why they have access to phones the way they do. And a stop to it when we don't like it, or encouraging it when it's something that's in our interest. You know, we have to call the shots. The people have to take the reins of this system and start dictating, you know, what we need, what needs to be done. And, you know, taking the initiative to do it ourselves. We can't rely on this system. I mean, you know, don't people see what's happening? Every single confrontation that MOVE people have been involved in, every single issue, you know, oppression, economic issues, every single issue facing our people, you know, is something that can be dealt with very, very simply. All people got to do is make their wishes known. All people have to do is stand up and say, listen, we're not accepting that. Unity is the key. Unity is the key to revolution. Revolution ain't nothing to be afraid of. It ain't nothing to shy away from. Revolution, contrary to what officials, you know, this system and those backing the officials running the system, you know, want people to believe that revolution means violence, you know, means blood in the street. I'm saying it can get to that point, but it don't have to be violent. You know, when people come together and take a strong stand on an issue, this government don't have no choice but to listen. Where you think they get their authority from? They don't have no power, but they do have authority to do certain things. Where you think they get it from? They get it from us, from the people. You know, they get it from us accepting the things that they do to be done to stop it. Then you have some people who want to then turn around and say, yeah, well, you know, it's the best we have, and want to make excuses. The time for excuses is over. It's over. You know, every man, woman, and child has to be involved in this revolution. Not only has to be, but is, whether you want to be or not. I mean, our babies gave their lives for this revolution on May 13th. You know, men, women, and children were murdered. And not just moved babies, you know. What about all of the young men, women, you know, children 8, 9 years old shot down on the street by cops, you know, by drug pushers? I mean, you know, where do you think that mentality comes from? It comes from this system, from the mentality of this system of getting over, you know, making a quick buck, you know. I'm saying that's where that needs to be done to stop it. Then, you know, what I want people to really, really understand is that it's past time. It is past time for poor people, black people, you know, to realize that this system has failed you. It has failed you. You can't get nothing from it. And what people got to do is withdraw our support from it and start doing for ourselves. That's what we got to do. You know, how long are people going to sit back and beg, you know, this government to do what's right when for hundreds of years all you've gotten is a slap in the face? All you've gotten is this government kicking your ass. That's all. That's all black people have ever gotten from this government.